In this lecture, we're going to be talking about path parameters using enumerations. So how we can create a automatic drop-down list within Swagger that makes a user need to select one of 4 options or one of X amount of options within a path parameter. We can accomplish this using enumerations. So let's think of how this can be useful. So if you're using some kind of directions within a compass, you might need north, south, east, and west. However, you only want a user to be able to use north, south, east, or west. You don't necessarily want someone to be able to say northwestern or southeastern, or be able to say a direction that doesn't even exist. The way we can accomplish this is by using enumeration within our path parameter. So under this books dictionary, I'm going to create a new class called direction name that takes in a string and enumerations. But first I need to import enum. So I can accomplish this by saying from enum import enum. And then under books dictionary, I'm going to create a new class called direction name. And as the parameters, I'm going to be using string and enum. And now within direction name, I'm going to create 4 variables inside direction name called north, south, east, and west, which is equal to north, south, east, and west. So the first variable is going to be north, which is equal to north. And then a new variable called south, which is equal to south. East, which is equal to east. And lastly, west, which is equal to west. And now I'm going to scroll to the bottom and create a new Get API request called Get Direction. But first, I'm going to create a new API URL. I'm going to make this URL /directions/direction name, and I'm going to make sure direction name is a path parameter. And now I'm going to create the Python function using async to make an asynchronous call, def get direction. And inside the get direction, I'm going to make sure the parameter is direction name, which is going to be a type of direction name, the class above. And now inside here, I can now say if direction name is equal to direction name.north, then I can return what I need and for west and east and south. However, because we're using enumeration, Swagger documentation is going to understand automatically that it's going to be a drop down that only allows individuals to type in 4 different kinds of path parameters to this function. For example, if I say if direction name is equal to direction name.north, I need to return direction. Colon direction name, and then I'm going to say subject is equal to up. And now I'm going to just copy and paste this for the last 4 directions. So if direction name is equal to direction name south, then direction.direction name subject equals down. Do it again for west. And west is left. And then for the last one, we can just use return, because if it skips the first 3 ifs, then it must be east as the last one. So if direction is north, it's up. If it's south, it's down. If it's west, it's left. And if it's east, it's right. Now let's open up our browser, refresh the page. And we can now see that we have get directions direction name. If we open this up, we can see that direction name is required and the only available values is north, south, east, and west based on the enum direction name that we created. If we want to try it out, we can see that this description is now a drop down where we can say north, execute, and we get the direction / north where north is now up. We can change it to south, where south is down, east, where right is east, and if we do west, we can see that west is left. And this wraps up how to use enumerations within a path parameter. And I will see you in the next video. In this lecture, we're just going to enhance our books.py file to now be able to retrieve the book from the books dictionary based on the path parameter passed in. We can do this by creating a new API with a getRequest method, where it's going to be slash as an empty path, but a path parameter called book name. I'm then going to create a new function called async def read book with the book name being a string, and then return that books from the book's ID. So let's start by creating the new function called async def read book. And as the parameter, I'm going to say book name as type string. And then I'm going to return books at the book name in the dictionary. And now above this function, we need to make sure it becomes an API by using the @app decorator with the .get / book name as the path parameter. We can do this by using @app using the app decorator .get, and then as a parameter, we're going to use /brackets book name. Now, if we open up our browser and we refresh it, we can now see that there's another API involved. There's the read all books that returns all of the books, and then there's a book name read book, which was going to return one book. And we can see that it's a book name is a required path parameter with a type of string. If I say try it out, I should be able to say book 1. And when I execute it, the response is going to be title, title 1, and author, author 1. If I say book 4 and execute it, it's going to return title 4 and author 4. And of course, if we go all the way back up to read all books and we execute this, we will return all of the books within the dictionary. This wraps up enhancing books.py using a path parameter, and I will see you in the next video.